Hello friends, I am chemistry faculty from QLS Academy. In last class, we learned to write a chemical equation, the summarized way to write a chemical reaction. Now, not all chemical reactions are same. Some give rise to only one product, while some give rise to many products. Some break the reactants, while some join the reactants. So today, we are going to learn about different types of chemical reactions. Hope you will enjoy today's class. So now let's get started with our today's lesson. So first, we will start with combination reaction. The reaction where two or more reactants combine to form a single product is known as combination reaction. हम इसे नाम से ही समझ सकते हैं. Combination means combine हो रहा है. You can generalize it as A plus B is equal to AB. Here, A and B could be any element or compound. When NH3 means ammonia gas reacts with HCl gas, hydrochloric gas, it gives out ammonium chloride, a solid salt. Combination reactions also occur while burning of fossil fuels like coal. The carbon present in fuels during the burning reacts with oxygen present in air to form carbon dioxide, CO2. The digestion of food also gets completed through a series of chemical reactions. The carbohydrates present in our food is used to derive energy for all our bodily functions. For example, when glucose C6H12O6 reacts with oxygen, it gives out carbon dioxide, water and energy. This energy is released in the form of heat. Food के digestion से heat generate होता है. This heat also helps in maintaining our body temperature. The chemical reactions where energy is produced in the form of heat are known as exothermic reaction. जिन reaction से heat generate होती है उन्हें हम कहते हैं exothermic reactions. In such reactions, the system where the reaction is occurring becomes hot. Also, there are some reactions where energy is absorbed, or we can say energy is required for the reaction to occur. Such reactions are known as endothermic reaction. जिन reactions को occur होने के लिए हीट या फिर किसी भी फॉर्म की एनर्जी की ज़रूरत होती है उन्हें हम कहते हैं एंडोथर्मिक रिएक्शंस. Decomposition reactions are the typical examples of endothermic reaction. Decomposition reactions are the opposite of combination reaction. Decompose means तोड़ना. These are the reactions where a substance splits into two or more simpler substances. We can generalize it as AB breaks into A plus B. For example, when calcium carbonate CaCO3 is heated, it breaks into calcium oxide CaO and carbon dioxide CO2. The application of heat can also be shown by using the triangular delta sign. हम यहाँ पे triangular delta sign use करके heat application को show कर सकते हैं. This type of decomposition reaction is known as thermal decomposition. Thermal because यहाँ पे heat apply कर रहे हैं. Now, it is not necessary कि reaction cause करने के लिए energy सिर्फ heat के form में ही required हो. Energy can also be applied in the form of electric current and light. When energy is applied in the form of electric current, the process is known as electrolysis. Electro stands for electricity and lysis means to break. Electricity का application देके जब हम किसी चीज़ को break करते हैं, decompose करते हैं, तो हम इसे कहते हैं electrolysis. An example of electrolysis is electrolysis of water. When electricity is passed through water, H2O, it breaks into its constituent gases, that is hydrogen and oxygen. Hydrogen accumulates near cathode, the negative electrode, while oxygen accumulates near anode, the positive electrode. When energy is supplied in the form of light, the decomposition process is known as photolysis. Photolysis. Photo means light, lysis means to break. Photolysis. For example, when silver chloride is exposed to light, especially sunlight, it decomposes into silver and chlorine gas. The white silver chloride turns grey to black depending on the exposure. Due to this property of silver chloride, it has been widely used in black and white photography. Similarly, when hydrogen peroxide decomposes in presence of light, it breaks into H2O water and oxygen gas. Such substances which are prone to decomposition in the presence of light are stored in dark condition like in dark bottles. The next type of reaction is single displacement reaction. Displacement reaction is a chemical reaction in which a more reactive element displaces a less reactive element from its compound. We can generalize it as A plus BC gives rise to AC plus BC. In a single displacement reaction, one of the reactants is always an element while the other is a compound. For example, reaction between iron and copper sulfate. When a solid iron is kept in copper sulfate solution, the color of solution turns from blue to green and the surface of iron becomes brownish. Here, iron replaces copper from copper sulfate solution to form iron sulfate solution. The brownish deposition on iron is the displaced copper. Similar reaction occurs when zinc is kept in copper sulfate solution. The reason zinc and iron were able to replace copper from copper sulfate is because iron and zinc are more reactive than copper. ज़्यादा reactive elements lesser reactive elements को हमेशा replace करेंगे. The next type of reaction is double displacement reaction. Double displacement reactions are defined as a reaction in which one component, each of both of the reacting molecules, is exchanged to form the products. During this reaction, the cations and anions of two reactants switch places, forming two entirely different compounds. For example, when sodium sulfate and barium chloride react to give out barium sulfate and sodium chloride. सोडियम सल्फेट और बेरियम क्लोराइड जब रिएक्ट करेंगे ये बेरियम सल्फेट एंड सोडियम क्लोराइड बनाएंगे. Here, the sulfate anion was initially bound with sodium cation, but during the reaction, sodium was replaced by another cation, barium cation. So, sulfate anion plus barium cation gives out barium sulfate. While barium sulfate was formed, chloride anion and sodium cation were left behind. And as you know, positive and negative attracts each other. Sodium cation and chloride cation bound to become NaCl, that is sodium chloride. Here, except barium sulfate, all other compounds remain in aqueous phase. Barium sulfate is not soluble in water and hence separate out from the reaction mixture as precipitate. This type of reaction where a precipitate is formed is known as precipitation reaction. Double displacement can also be observed when acids and bases react with each other in neutralization reactions. During neutralization reactions, hydrogen ions of the acid react with hydroxide ions of the base to form water. The remaining ions combine with each other to form the salt. For example, when hydrochloric acid reacts with sodium hydroxide, they gives out NaCl, sodium chloride and water. Here also, sodium and chloride ions combine to form NaCl, while hydrogen and hydroxyl ions combine to form H2O, water. Now, let's wind up our class here today. Today we learned about 6 different types of chemical reaction: combination reaction, decomposition reaction, thermal decomposition reaction, electrolysis, photolysis. Exothermic and endothermic reaction, single displacement reactions where lesser reactive elements are replaced by more reactive elements, and lastly, double displacement reaction where the reactants exchange their ionic partners. In next class, we will discuss about redox reactions. Hope you all have enjoyed today's class. If you have any doubt or have any query, you can visit the following link.